Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Business After Hours, the May edition. Our platform tonight, of course, is Remo. Most of you have been on this before, but some of you are new to it. So I hope that you have found a way to sort of hop around from table to table. And I see that Emma is joining us on stage here. We're going to do a little bit of housekeeping, Emma, if you can stick with us for a moment. I just want to make sure that we have a moment for Jerry to introduce our new members. We got everybody's attention here before we get into the meat of the evening. But we are very excited to have the Scandinavian Midsummer Festival Court here, and Emma has stepped away for just a minute, but she's figured out how to get on here. So Jerry, if you want to come on and just talk to us about new members.
Hi, everybody. So yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the members we've had join the chamber since our last Business After Hours that we had last month. We've got, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new members since then, so that's great. We start off with Wildlife Center of the North Coast, and they're here in Astoria, and Josh Sarampa is the administrator there. It's a nonprofit doing a lot of great things for our feathered and furry friends that need rehabilitation. And then then they go ahead and try and get them returned to the wild. So doing a great job down there. We're glad to have them aboard. Double M Outdoors is a fishing guide service that just joined. He does work on the Columbia from Astoria all the way up to mid-Columbia. And Matt Myers is the primary rep for that. Ash River Woodworks. We just did a ribbon cutting for them last week. They create they handmade, I should say. They create handmade furniture, really beautiful stuff. You've got to get into their shop. They're on 14th Street. And then we have Clatsop County Lawn and Tractor. They're formerly Clatsop Power Equipment, and they've changed the company, the name, and we need to check them out for power equipment. And they're specialists in John Deere, and everybody probably knows where the Clatsop Power Equipment is out there in Astoria. Tie Me Up is another one we just did a ribbon cutting for. They're at the east end of the red building there on 14th Street and the river. They are excellent Thai food, and trust me, I had a little bit, and they're great views right there while you're there eating. So welcome to the chamber. Tie Me Up. And then one of my favorites, I love Chinese food. I don't know how many of the rest of you do, but it's just one of those things that you'd love. You just can't get enough. Golden Luck Restaurant and Lounge, and it's just down the street here from the chamber, so that's a plus. They've got a new customer in me. But welcome to Golden Luck, and that's Jia Rong is the owner there. So just a couple things I wanted to mention. Also, our next chamber breakfast is going to be Tuesday, May 25th. Our guest speaker is Megan Dahl, and she's with Clatsop Behavioral Healthcare. So that's next. That's not next Tuesday, but the May 25th, the following Tuesday. Our next Business After Hours is June 10th, and that's Thursday, of course. And that's going to be with Shelby Myers with the Astoria Sunday Market. So looking forward to having Shelby with us. They had a great weekend this last weekend. I know.
Yeah, Shelby will have some news for us about how it's gone so far.
Yeah, excellent. What's going on there? And that's all I got for you, Dave.
Good
for right now.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry. It is really heartening to see members coming on board. It's Jerry's doing a lot of work out there, reaching out to people, but also it's a reflection that there's some people starting businesses out there, which is exciting, and also that more people are sort of seeing the value in this last year of us working together. And that's really something that we focus on is creating a platform and a place and connections through the chamber, and more of our local businesses are saying, yeah, we really needed that this last year. So exciting to see that kind of progress. So your membership is being sort of amplified by the more members that we have coming in. So I don't want to rattle on for the rest of the night because I'm really excited about tonight's presentation. Emma, if you want to join us back up here. And we're going to be hearing from the Scandinavian Midsummer Festival Court. Scandinavian Midsummer Festival is, of course, a signature event. It's an Oregon heritage event, thought of very widely as just really something that makes Oregon special, and we have it right here in our backyard. But for me, every year the best part of it is this. It is the festival court, the work that they do, the face that they show to the community, and just the pride that they have in their heritage and in this community that we represent. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Emma Biederman. And Emma, I will let you tell everybody who you're representing, and let folks know who you are.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Emma Biederman, and I'm representing Finland for the 2021 Scandinavian Midsummer Festival. So I'm currently a senior at Astoria High School. Graduation is coming up here pretty quickly. I live here in Astoria, Oregon with my parents, Faber and Laura Biederman, and my younger sister, Avery. Being a senior, responsibility of deciding where I want to spend the next 4 years of my life. So with that being said, I've decided to attend Oregon State University this fall to major in kinesiology and enter into their pre-health program and prepare myself for my future career as a chiropractor. I've always been interested in the health field, and I thought that would be a pretty rewarding career. So so that's a little bit about me. A couple years ago, I started to become interested in kind of my family's heritage and where exactly I came from. So with the help of my grandma, Gloria Roberts, I took a DNA test through Ancestry and discovered that I was 17% Finnish along with 20% Swedish, which were the two that stood out the most to me. I was also a little German, but the two that really stood out to me were the Finnish and Swedish, because I had no idea I was actually Swedish at all. So that was very interesting. Like I said, with the help of my grandma, I was able to go back in my family line and kind of find out exactly where all those numbers came from. So little did I know, I had a great-great-grandmother named Mary Hansen, who immigrated from Oulunlani, Finland to Astoria, Oregon in 1903. When she arrived here, she soon met her husband, and they decided to settle down here and start a family. From this marriage came my great-grandmother, Sylvia Järjärvi, and she followed in her parents' footsteps and found her husband and settled down here and had 3 little boys, one of which was my grandfather, Jerry Roberts, who is still around today to tell their stories. So I never actually got to meet Sylvia, but from stories over the years, I've learned that she was 100% Finnish and fluent in the language, English as well. And she was also well known in our small community. My mom has actually had people come up to her and talk to her about my grandma, which is pretty cool. So she's had people tell her that she's had a sweet but strong-willed and stubborn personality, and she would also throw house parties that lasted until 5 a.m. with finished goods and music and dancing and laughing and all sorts of fun stuff, which I think is pretty cool that she tried to keep her Scandinavian heritage alive here in Astoria. So although I never actually got to meet her, I am thankful that I get to represent her and my family's heritage in such a big way, and I know that she would be proud if she was here today. So I see that it says, I do not speak Finnish. I have no family members here today that are fluent in the language. I know my mom knows a few words, and my grandma and grandpa, they might know a couple, but I do not. But I would love to go to Finland someday and kind of go around the area and just kind of see the different culture and stuff, because living in Astoria my whole life, I've never really been able to immerse myself in the full Finnish culture. So so that's a little bit about my heritage. Along with the Swedish, I'm not really sure where that came from, but I thought it was pretty interesting that I've got such a big amount of Scandinavian blood within me. So the Finnish costume that I'm wearing today dates back to the 1950s, making it a total of 70 years old. It consists of a brooch, a blouse, a vest, and then a big skirt that is made of wool and has lots of colorful patterns and colors. So it was actually borrowed from John and Mary Mattila, and it was handed down to them by their parents as well. So I'd like to thank them for allowing me to wear this costume this year and last year. Even if it's over Zoom and you can't see the whole thing, I'm pretty thankful to have it. So my mother actually wore this exact costume in 2015 as she was the junior court chaperone alongside my sister, who was junior Miss Finland, and my aunt was also junior Miss Finland way back when. And so it's pretty exciting to be able to carry on the tradition and participate in this my senior year. So while kind of being immersed in the whole heritage and learning about my culture, I have done a little research and found out a little bit more about the culture as a whole. So I discovered that the Finnish national anthem, titled Mame, was actually not originally written to be the national anthem. It was actually written originally with Swedish words, and the music was composed by a German immigrant. And then it was first sung in 1848 and soon became the Finnish national anthem. So I thought it was pretty cool that it didn't necessarily start out as the Finnish national anthem, but over time became the Finnish national anthem and became a sense of pride and something that when it is sung brings pride to its country and its people. So this year there will not be a festival, which is very unfortunate. I myself, along with most of the other court that will be speaking to you guys today, were actually selected last year, but due to the outbreak of COVID-19, we were all kind of shut down for a little bit, but we all decided to come back this year. So I'd like to thank all of you here tonight and the Finnish Brotherhood Lodge here in Astoria and the Scandinavian Festival Association for allowing us to come back and learn some more about our heritage and ourselves and just share a little bit about ourselves with you guys and kind of give you guys a sense of where we come from and all the traditions and all the little things that make us who we are. So thank you, everyone.
Emma, thank you. That was fantastic.
Thank
I didn't
you.
realize that you'd been held over. So you've set a record. You've been
Yes.
senior Miss Finland for the
Yes.
longest that anybody's ever been senior Miss Finland.
Yeah,
Good.
I was actually a junior last year when I decided to do it. So it actually worked out well that I became a senior this year. But
Right.
I know some of the other girls have gone off to college, but they actually stayed here this year. But yeah, we have set a record, so I didn't even think about that.
Unprecedented, as they say.
Yes.
Well done. Congratulations, Emma.
Thank you.
Everybody's saying great job. Okay, who is next? And if you want to put in the chat, if you're having trouble getting on, well, you should all be speakers. If you're the next speaker, you just turn on your camera and your mic. And you should join me on stage here. If you're having trouble, just put it in the chat. And Emma's a great example of why I like this so much, because she, through this process, has been connected with her family's history. I don't know that we get the chance really to do that in our normal daily lives unless you do the ancestry thing. You know, you really don't necessarily know all those connections, and she didn't. And now she gets a chance not only to know it, but also to share it and explore it. And so this is one of my favorite things. So I see Sophia and I see Kaisa still out there. Here we go. Here comes Kaisa. Kaisa, you're still on mute, I'm afraid.
Oh gosh. Sorry about that. I was saying that I can go next and kind of speak on my
All right. Looks like Lila June is just coming back in. So yes, please. We'd love that. Thank you, Kaisa.
Great, thank you. So did you know that 21% of Clatsop County residents have Scandinavian heritage? Maybe you could tell from the colorful houses lining the hills above the Columbia River, or from the hardworking spirit of this community. Or maybe it is just the annual celebration of our heritage that unites us all together. You probably can't tell by just looking at me, but I'm Swedish, which is kind of the joke because I have a banner that says Miss Sweden. But I'm also Danish, Norwegian, and Finnish. So my name is Kaisa Lilienwall, and I'm a freshman online at the University of Southern California, where I'm studying biomedical engineering. My parents are Jeff and Cass Lilienwall, and I have one brother, Luke, who is a senior this year at Western Oregon University. I currently serve as a member of the USC Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps, and I'm a member of the Women in Engineering chapter. In my free time, I love to play the piano and read autobiographies. So my story starts with my paternal great-grandparents, Gus and Jenny Liljenwall, who came to the US in a wave of immigrants from Trelleborg, Sweden and Sjöslätt, Finland. I'm actually named after my maternal great-grandmother, Kajsa-Lisa Larsdotter, who was a textile worker from Hugh, Astoria-Warrenton, Sweden. When she came to the US, she met her husband, John Larson, who was a brewer from Astoria-Warrenton, Sweden. So one of my favorite parts of celebrating my heritage is having the opportunity to wear an authentic regional costume made in Sweden. So you can't see right now, but my costume represents the Marlborough region of Östergötland in southwest Sweden. The specific fabrics of the vest and the skirt were woven by textile artisans to highlight the unique colors and patterns of Marlborough. So the skirt and the vest have white and red stripes, or green, white, and red stripes. They represent the lush forests, snowy winter valleys, and the sweet berries of the Västergötland province. One of my most cherished pieces of my my costume is my hand-embroidered Stålsaken purse. It's kind of fashioned by my grandmother, if you can ever see. So it's a traditional Swedish motif of hearts and flowers, and I've actually worn this purse as part of my costume as a member of our local Viking Nordic dancers. I've been performing with them since I was in the 2nd grade. So I love Scandinavian folk dancing, and one of my favorite events is actually being able to dance around the midsummer pool and helping to decorate it. So along with the dancing, one of my favorite parts of the festival is listening to the singing of the Swedish national anthem. Du gamla du fria, which means Thou Ancient Thou Free, is a beautiful song that summarizes the flowering valleys and the gleaming Northland. It is also known as Song of the North, and it mentions the valiant souls that fought to protect their homeland. I would like to thank the Astoria Chamber of Commerce and the Astoria Scandinavian Midsummer Festival Association, as well as my own lodge, Astorvasa Lodge number 215, for allowing me to be this year's Miss Sweden, and last year's as well. So thank you for having me today.
Kajsa, stick with us for just a second. See if there's any questions in the chat. I have a question. You said that you love reading autobiographies. Of whom? Who are your current reading list?
Oh gosh, well, I actually just finished my last final, so I have not read one since probably Christmas break. But
okay.
Who was it? I read one on Ben Carson. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Unique view.
Cool. Anything, any sort of threads you want to follow there in terms of reading about people from Sweden or people from, yeah.
Right. No, I actually haven't had the opportunity to do that. But it is summer now, so maybe that's something I might do in the future.
Good. Okay. Well, the bookstore owner out there is clapping because she loves a reader. Good. Anything else? Now tell me a little bit about the festival. So the festival is not happening this year, not in the live format, but there was an Optog the other day. Are there going to be more things like that where is there going to be like the troll run or is anything going to be happening live at all this year?
No, I'm actually not actively part of the board, but I know that we are going to have our coronation on June 18th, and it'll be virtually held that people can watch. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Kajsa. That was enlightening and lots of fun. I think we're going to have instead of Lila June, because she's having some technical difficulties, we're going to have Sophia come on next. So thank you again for being here. And then Lila June, if you're still out there and you just want to leave and come back in, sometimes that helps. But otherwise, we might have to do something through chat. But now we have Sophia. Thank you for being here. And I will let you take it away.
All right. Thank you for having us. So, terve, minu nimion Sophia Morrill. Hello, my name is Sophia Morrill, and I am Miss Scandinavia on the 2021 Scandinavian Court. I am currently a student at Oregon State University studying digital communication arts. My parents are Greg and Anna Maria Morrill, and I have two sisters, Krista and Isabella Morrill. In 2009, I was Junior Miss Finland, and in 2019 was Senior Miss Finland, and I'm honored to be representing Scandinavia as a whole this year. I am 50% Finnish from my mother's side, and a little bit Danish and Swedish from my father's side. Also, I have just recently become a citizen of Finland, so I'm excited to travel there in the future and be able to live there. I have visited Finland many times in the past to see my relatives there, and have also been to Sweden. Having these opportunities has helped grow my love for Scandinavia immensely, and also all the wonderful foods such as Karlienpierkka, lattu, and korvapusti. Yet, none of this would have been possible without the story of how my parents met. My mom came to Astoria to work as an au pair or live-in nanny for a year in the early 90s, and during that time, she met my father. It was the most unexpected thing. He was cleaning a fish out in his basement, and my mom instantly fell in love. When she went back to Finland, they kept in touch by writing letters, and when my mom came back to visit, they began to date. Eventually, one thing led to another. My mom invited my dad to go visit her back in Finland, and when he came, he proposed to her soon after his arrival. He proposed in Finnish. My mom was so shocked that she asked him if he was feeling all right. "Do you need to see a doctor?" she asked in her broken English, but nevertheless, she said yes. And now, every time they tell me that story, I'm so happy to have both cultures in my life shaping me into who I am today. Now, the costume that I'm wearing, even though you can't see the full thing, unfortunately, is from Keski-Suomi, or Central Finland. This 1920s style costume was made in the 1940s for the great aunt of the lady, Clara Lahtinen, who sold it to me. The seller's family was originally from Central Finland, but moved to Tampere in the early 1900s. She remembers her great aunt wearing this costume as normal everyday clothing, but usually pairing it with a large oversized sweater. The costume skirt, which you can't see, unfortunately, is made of wool and has dark, thick blue stripes with thinner red, yellow, and gold stripes in between. The vest is also a dark blue to match the skirt and is enclosed with a cord and decorative silver hooks. The white blouse has a large collar and sleeves, which are both lined in lace. I also wear a piece of jewelry called palliansulki, and it is a bronze brooch that varies depending on the person's taste. Overall, this costume has a lot of history, and I love knowing it has been passed through generations of Finnish women. Now, in the past, one of my favorite events at the festival has been the Queen's Ball that happens shortly after coronation, where the newly crowned Miss Scandinavia leads the first dance of Midsummer. Also, this year, the coronation will be a live-streamed event so that all of you and your friends and family can join us in listening to the wonderful speeches that the princesses will give on what their heritage means to them. I would like to thank everyone associated with the Scandinavian Festival for allowing me this wonderful opportunity to represent Finland and Scandinavia as a whole. Kiitos.
Sophia, that was fantastic. So you were Miss Finland, and then you were elected Miss Scandinavia last year, correct?
In 2019, and then unfortunately, we didn't have anything last year.
You've been Miss Scandinavia for 2 years, so you also have broken a record, as has everybody on here tonight. So you'll have a place in history of the Scandinavian Midsummer Festival in the long history. So the questions in the chat, I think we've answered most of those. Anything else you'd like to tell us about? Oh, you did say something about doing the live stream coronation. When is that?
It's going to be at the end of June. I don't remember the dates at the moment, but there will be information put out through the Scandinavian Midsummer Association. Yeah, Layla's saying in the chat for June 18th.
June 18th, okay. And we'll make sure that it's on our calendar, and we'll make sure we are sharing it out with all of our members as well. So, excellent. Congratulations. Thank you again. And it looks like Lila June got her system fixed. Are you with us?
Oh, yes, I'm
There
here.
you go. Wonderful.
All right.
Welcome.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Lila June Anderson. I am representing Denmark this year. I'm Senior Miss Denmark. I am a junior in high school at Astoria High School. My parents are Ryan Anderson and Suzette Anderson. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. My brother Elliot is a senior at Astoria High School. My older brother Nicholas lives in Idaho, and my older sister Samantha lives in Utah. So I've lived in Astoria for a few years now, previously living in Idaho. I love it here. The beauty and the greenery of the area has made it all the more enjoyable living here. I have a passion for exploring, and it's always nice to bring my camera along. I've picked up skateboarding over the last 6 or 7 months or so, and with what feels like a new bruise every day, it's been fun to see myself progress. I love to play piano. I enjoy snow skiing when I get the chance. I'm very involved in my church youth group, and I'm the president of the Young Women's Organization of 14 to 18-year-olds. I'm also a regional representative for the youth of my church. So my Scandinavian heritage includes Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian by marriage. My ancestors moved from both Denmark and Sweden to the Spokane, Washington area, and then homesteaded to Montana. One of the first community events I attended upon moving here was the Scandinavian Festival. Many of my friends are dancers in the festival, and it was so fun to watch them. I tried on my first real authentic costume the day of the festival at one of the booths, and of course trying new foods is always exciting. So my costume is borrowed from the Lower Columbia Danish Society and derives from Lio. It is representative of what a young woman would wear for dancing at the close of the 1800s. I was told in the past the Danes are very proud of their hats, so therefore I am very proud of mine. My little cap is nicknamed Flutter Hat because of the pretty ribbons that flutter in front. It is tied underneath the chin with a ribbon, but tradition says one would certainly not have the heart to tie any of the others together. My apron, which you cannot see right now, it is endowed with white embroidery. While dancing, the young woman would tie a large handkerchief around their waist so that the men's sweaty hands wouldn't soil their clean white aprons, especially in the belt, which had so much embroidery on it. I have always thought dancing was really fun. Astoria has their own dance group that includes dancers from second grade to adults. The Nordic Viking dancers are the youngest dance group that includes Nordic Viking dancers are the youngest dance group, and several members perform at the Midsummer Festival. Experienced teenage dancers make up the Viking dancers, who are frequently joined by the adults from the Scandia dancers. The Nordic Viking Scandia dancers are led by Kevin Ladd and Bev Hoofnagel. Denmark's national anthem translates to "There is a lovely country." It was written in 1819 by Adam Oehlenschläger. His motto translated from Latin when he wrote the anthem, "This corner of the earth smiles at me more than any other." It is neat to know that he started with that thought as he wrote the anthem. There is a lovely country. It stands with broad beech trees near the salting eastern shore. It bends itself in hill, valley. Its name is Old Denmark. This land is still as fair. The sea is blue around it, and peace is cherished there. Strong men and noble women still uphold their country's honor with faithfulness and skill. Hail King and Fatherland. I feel very privileged to be a part of the Scandinavian Midsummer Festival Court and would like to thank the Lower Columbia Danish Society for sponsoring me as Miss Denmark. I'm very blessed to live in such a beautiful area and participate in such an honored cultural event. Thank you.
Another June, thank you very much. That was okay. You've been involved with this for quite a while, right?
Yeah, for about a year now.
Okay.
Or
And
two.
Okay. So you haven't really been part of the festival, so I can't ask you what you've missed about that. But what has this changed about your future plans? Has it informed anything that you're doing from here on out?
Well, not exactly, but I can say that it's been very exciting to be a part of this because it then allows me to meet new people and just get these new experiences that I haven't experienced yet. So that's been really exciting, but I not exactly, it's not really indicated my future yet, but I can just say it's been really exciting to be a part of everything.
Good. Very good. Excellent. Sophia, Emma, Kaisa, would you join us on the stage here? There we go. So I present to you the 2021 and the 2020 Astoria Scandinavian Midsummer Festival Court. Ladies, that was phenomenal. That was everything we could have expected and hoped for. Thanks for making this happen tonight. You're going to watch in the chat. I hope everybody telling you what a fantastic job you did. And if there's anything else that you want to add, now's the time to do it. But I just really want to say thank you to you. And we know that we're missing Grace Meyer, Senior Miss Norway. She was unavailable tonight, but we will see her at Coronation. So on the 18th at 7 p.m. when we're live streaming that, we get to see everybody's speeches and see you guys do as phenomenal a job as you've done tonight. Thank you for being patient with this. Thank you for sticking with this through the pandemic, and we wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Much.
Yeah,
You
thank
bet.
you.
Yeah, thank
I'm gonna send it back to the tables, everybody, so you get a chance to meet, mingle, and talk with one another. We will break in a few minutes after that, and we'll do some prizes and things like that. But right now, we're gonna go back to the tables.